They're staring. Always. Even when you think you're alone. Shadows move differently around you now. You feel it in the small hairs on your neck, the flicker of a camera, the brush of a reflection. Every glance becomes a test. Do you feel it? That prickling in your skin, the itch behind your thoughts, the sudden pause in your heartbeat. That's not fear. That's awakening. They're counting every step, every choice, every twitch of your ambition. And you are glowing in ways they can't ignore. Do you think they're benevolent? Do you think curiosity masks innocence? No. Curiosity is a trap. Every smile, every handshake, every word is measured, calculated, stored. You are an experiment, a puzzle, a weapon, and they don't want you to know it yet. The brilliance of being watched is simple. It reveals the cracks, the lies you tell yourself, the soft underbelly you hide. They've seen it all. Every hesitation, every fleeting moment of weakness. And yet, every hesitation is a spark. Every weakness is a lever. Do you feel that fire stirring? You move through streets, through offices, through conversations that seem ordinary, but nothing is ordinary. You've stepped into a game with invisible players, and here's the delicious part. They think they control it. They think they've charted your path. They haven't even seen the first card you'll play. So look closer. Listen harder, watch the watchers. They leave traces. They leave patterns. The cracks in their order, they are your playground. And one day, when they finally realize, it will be too late. You will be everywhere and nowhere. And all the while, they will still be counting. They whisper about you when you leave the room. Soft tones, careful phrasing, as if your name might ignite something they can't contain. They study your rise like analysts staring at a storm they cannot predict. And that unsettles them, because you don't follow the path they expect. You create your own, with edges sharp enough to draw their caution. They see strength. You pretend not to notice. They see the spark you keep buried behind routine. A spark that flickers louder every time you're pushed aside. They sense it, and it bothers them more than you know. Power unsettles those who feel they deserve it more, and your presence reminds them they built their positions on fragile ground. That makes you dangerous to them. They want to understand your mind, the twists, the leaps, the quiet plans you craft when no one's watching. They want to read your blueprint before you step into your prime. Not to guide you, no, to contain you, to redirect you, to steer you away from becoming what they fear most, someone they cannot predict, someone they cannot shape, someone who thinks for themselves. But here's the truth. They dare not say aloud. You are not chosen because they admire you. You are chosen because they feel threatened. Every quiet victory you've had is a reminder that you were never meant to be small. Every refusal to break under pressure is a signal. Every moment of endurance echoes like a warning across their carefully built walls. They hear it clearer than you do. And now they watch closer. They lean in. They calculate. They hope you doubt yourself enough to slow down. They hope you shrink just enough for them to breathe again. But you don't shrink. You rise in the silence between their assumptions. You rise in the corners they overlook. You rise in ways they cannot measure. That's what rattles them. So let them monitor. Let them analyze. Let them think they understand the threat you carry. Because they're watching an earlier version of you. A version already fading, a version already replaced. You're sharpening, growing, shifting into something they never planned for, something they cannot direct. And when the time comes, their calculations will collapse. It gnaws at you. That restless fire that keeps your nights sleepless. That shadow whispering in corners of your mind, hunger. Not for comfort, not for praise, but for recognition, for space to rise, for power you've been denied, ignored, underestimated. It twists and curls, sharp as a blade, and it will not be silenced. Every slight, every dismissive glance, every time they told you not yet or stay small, it feeds the fire. They think it weakens you. They think it bends your will. They have no idea. Each shove, each insult, each limitation they imposed only carves a path for your reckoning. Hunger grows sharper when the world doubts you. You feel it when you wake in the middle of the night. That pull, that gnawing need. It is more than ambition. It is rebellion against the walls they built around you. Every heartbeat thunders with it. Every breath tastes of it. And deep down you know there is no returning to the person who obeyed quietly. That version is gone. It is ugly. It is raw. And it is beautiful. The kind of beauty that terrifies those who think power is measured in titles or wealth. They cannot see the true weight of someone driven from within, someone fed by shadows and insults, someone who has nothing to lose but weakness. Hunger is the silent weapon they cannot disarm. And here's the most delicious part. They fear it even more than you do. Your unspoken, unapologetic need to rise unsettles them. It disrupts their order. It disrupts their calm. And it whispers a simple, terrifying truth. No one can cage what refuses to be caged. So embrace it. Let it burn. Let it sharpen every thought, every movement, every plan. Let it twist into cunning. Let it sharpen into action. This hunger will not only awaken you, it will make you more than they can ever calculate, more than they can ever control, more than they ever dared imagine. They smile as if you can't see the strings behind their teeth. Soft words, careful tones, every gesture disguised as kindness. Yet every offer feels weighted, tilted, slanted, just enough to guide you without your consent. You feel it in the pause before they speak. You feel it in the silence after. Their game isn't loud, it's subtle, precise. They map your weaknesses with the patience of collectors. They watch how you react to pressure, how you handle disappointment, how you breathe when anger tightens your ribs. They use routine as bait, familiarity as cover. And the cruel brilliance is this: they never push hard, only enough to make you lean, only enough to make you doubt yourself. This is how puppeteers move. Not with force, with suggestion, with carefully placed approvals, with comments that hover just below offense. They guide your path with threads you never agreed to carry, and every nod you give them tightens those threads. Every small compromise becomes a tether. Every quiet moment of acceptance gives them another angle. But you see it. Now, the pattern, the rhythm, the trick behind their control. They rely on your silence, your patience, your desire to avoid conflict. They depend on your willingness to give the benefit of the doubt. And the moment you stop offering that, their strategy fractures, because they cannot manipulate someone who watches the watchers. So observe them. Let their smiles reveal their motives. Let their pauses expose their intent. Let their carefully crafted words show the fear behind their confidence. They can only control what they understand, and you are shifting faster than they can analyze. You are changing shape, changing pace, becoming something they did not prepare for. And that's where the beauty lies. The moment you step outside their script, their threads snap, their influence dissolves. Their quiet predictions turn to confusion. You become the piece they can't place, the force they can't map. Their game depends on your compliance, and you are finished giving them that comfort. Fear sits in your chest like a visitor that never knocks, quiet, waiting, studying you with a patience that feels ancient. It twists in the corners of your thoughts, pretending to be a warning when it's really a signal. A pulse, a push. You feel it when the world tightens around you. You feel it when you're one decision away from changing everything. You feel it, and you hide from it. But fear isn't your enemy. Fear is the spark that wakes your instincts from their sleep. It sharpens your edges when pressure rises. It whispers the truth no one else dares to tell you. The truth that you are capable of far more than you show. And deep down, you know it. You know the trembling is not weakness. It is preparation. It is tension before release. It is the breath before the strike. They want you to run from fear, to treat it as a cage, to treat it as a signal to freeze. They rely on that, because someone who runs from fear can be directed, positioned, adjusted. But someone who steps toward it, someone who tastes it like a challenge, becomes unpredictable. And unpredictability breaks their structure. It shatters their comfort. It rattles their control. Fear reveals you to yourself in its presence. You learn who you are beneath the surface. The masks fall, the excuses dissolve, the truth rises like heat from your spine. You see your hidden strength, you see your buried grit, and suddenly fear stops feeling like a threat. It feels like a weapon, a quiet, simmering force that pushes you forward instead of holding you back. So let it shake you. Let it crawl across your ribs. Let it pull you toward the edge you've avoided, because once you step through it, you won't return the same. You will move differently, think differently, act with a clarity they never expected from you. Fear does not shrink you, it shapes you. It sculpts your will into something sharper than hesitation, something stronger than doubt. In the end, fear is not a chain. It's a signal, a light in the dark, a reminder that you are standing in front of something worth becoming. And when you choose to face it, when you decide to turn it into fire, that is the moment they lose their advantage. That is the moment you rise with intention, and they will feel it the second you do. They see a face that smiles when they expect it, nods when it pleases them, talks when it serves them. But they never see the storm beneath the skin. They never see the machinery of thought, the quiet calculation, the hunger that simmers just below the surface. They think a mask is camouflage. They don't know it is armor. You've worn it long enough to fool them, enough to survive, enough to be underestimated. Every laugh you faked, every hesitation you performed, every compromise you accepted, they believed it was you, but you were always elsewhere, observing, waiting, learning, shaping your response, perfecting your act. And in that space between who you show and who you are lies your power. Masks are mirrors. They reflect what others want to see. They hide what others fear. And the beauty is subtle. You can be both harmless and dangerous at once. You can appear predictable while plotting chaos beneath their vision. They measure the mask. They never measure the fire behind it. And that imbalance, that is what terrifies them. When they finally notice, the mask is not weakness. It is strategy. It allows you to move without revealing your hand. It lets you navigate spaces built for control and authority without surrendering control to them. The mask gives you patience, observation, insight. And insight becomes a weapon sharper than any blade. But the mask cannot be static. It shifts. It bends. It adapts to the gaze of each watcher. One moment docile, one moment playful, one moment calculating. And in the moments they fail to read you, you strike without warning, because you've become a shape they cannot predict, a presence they cannot name. So wear it, refine it, twist it, make them comfortable with it, make them believe they know you. And then when the moment is right, let the mask fall. Let the truth behind it hit them like a revelation, like the first punch in a fight they never saw coming. You are both the actor and the weapon, and they will never see it coming. There is a part of you they never understand. Dark, restless, hungry, hidden behind polite words and measured gestures. You call it fear. They call it danger, but it is neither. It is truth. The raw pulse of what you refuse to show, and it is alive, twisting, stretching, pressing against the edges of who you pretend to be. You've buried it, tamed it, turned it into quiet compliance, and every time you obeyed their rules, every time you swallowed your edge, it grew stronger in the darkness. It fed on frustration, on the small betrayals, on every glance that dismissed you. And now it is ready to step out of hiding and claim its place. They will not recognize it at first. Shadows are silent. They move in corners. They whisper. And when they strike, it is always from where you least expect. You have nurtured chaos within yourself, shaped it into a weapon that obeys only you. And that power, the raw, unfiltered kind, cannot be measured, cannot be stopped, cannot be understood. It is not vengeance. It is not cruelty. It is presence. A reminder that the world you navigate is a mirror of what you carry inside. The shadow is patient. It waits, watches, learns, and it grows with every slight, every insult, every time they think they have tamed you. That is the beauty. That is the danger. Now you meet it, the shadow within. You do not flinch. You do not shrink. You embrace it. Let it sharpen your instincts. Let it give weight to your steps. Let it fuel your decisions. The stronger it grows, the more unpredictable, the more unstoppable you become in ways they cannot imagine. And one day, when they finally reach for the person they thought they knew, the shadow will rise, calm and precise, and reveal you as someone they never anticipated. Someone beyond control. Someone beyond fear. Someone alive in ways they will only understand too late. You know the feeling, that silent sinking, that slow drift into routines that cage you without a single lock, the kind of existence that steals your edge one quiet day at a time. They want you there, lost in repetition, wrapped in comfort that feels safe but tastes dull. That is the real trap, the invisible kind, The kind you accept before you notice. Every compromise you made, every moment you dimmed your voice, every time you stepped aside to avoid conflict. Those were the chains. Not loud, not heavy, just subtle enough to blend into your life. And the cruel part is this: they never forced them on you. They let you place them on yourself. One excuse at a time, one fear at a time, one hesitation at a time. But something inside you stirs now. Something that refuses to sleep. A whisper rising through the cracks. A reminder that you were not meant to move through life with your head lowered. You feel the tension behind your ribs, a pulse that grows stronger with every thought you suppress, every dream you postpone, every truth you distort to fit their comfort. The moment you recognize the cage begins to fracture. You see the patterns you once accepted. You see the people who benefited from your silence. You see the weight you carried for the sake of peace, and the realization hits with clarity. They never feared your weakness. They feared the moment you stopped pretending, the moment you chose to rise without permission. So break it. Break the rhythm they handed you. Break the limits you agreed to. Break the old version of yourself that learned how to shrink. You owe nothing to the walls that boxed you in. You owe nothing to the voices that told you to wait, to settle, to quiet down. Every chain you snap becomes a reminder that you are not built for smallness, not anymore. When you step out of that quiet cage, the air feels different, sharper, cleaner, real. And in that moment of awakening, you become a force they cannot measure, a presence they cannot predict. You rise not with chaos, but with clarity, with intention, with hunger, sharpened by every moment you once surrendered. And they will feel that shift the moment you take your first step forward. You made it this far. That already sets you apart. Few dare to face the truths hidden in plain sight. Few are willing to stare at the fire within and feel it roar. You didn't just watch, you felt, you thought, you rose with every word. That takes courage, that takes hunger, that takes a mind refusing to be small. Now stay with me. The path ahead is sharper, darker, wilder. The next sections will strip away the last illusions and show you exactly how to seize what they think they control. Don't stop here. Watch it all. Absorb it. Let it fuel the part of you they fear the most. Hey, legends. You feel that? That tension crawling under your skin. That silence that ain't peace? Is it pressure? Oh, it's about to snap, and when it does, someone's getting jumped. Yeah, not the kind you're thinking, nah. This is deeper, darker, smarter. This is psychological warfare, baby. Mind versus mask, truth versus fake loyalty. You know the story, right? Everyone in this so-called community turned on each other because of you. Yeah, you. The one they couldn't break. The one who stood too strong, too real, too different. They whispered, they plotted, they tried to twist your name, and now, they're choking on their own noise. This isn't just a speech. This is a mirror, a reflection of what happens when truth walks into a room full of cowards. Every fake smile, every hidden jab, every false friend, tonight, it's all getting exposed. Are you ready for that? Are you ready to see how fast loyalty turns into survival when masks start cracking? Oh, yeah, you're gonna feel this one. Every word, every pause, every silence, it's gonna crawl right into your chest and stay there. This ain't about violence. This is about awakening, about seeing what happens when a community built on comfort finally meets someone built on conviction. So don't you dare scroll away now. Nah, you've come this far. Stay till the end, feel the burn, face the truth, and tell me what side of this story you stand on. Drop your thoughts in the comments, speak your truth, and let the world hear your fire. Because this one right here, this one's for the real ones, the ones who didn't fold when everyone turned, the ones who stood tall when the crowd tried to crush them. This is your moment. Your proof, your payback, served cold, calm, and undeniable. Oh, you're still here? Good. Stay locked in. 'Cause by the end of this, you won't just hear the words, you'll become them. You wanted peace. You started a war. That's the line that echoes through every whisper tonight. Every corner of this place hums with it. This quiet, twisted symphony of blame. Someone will get jumped, not because of fists or fury, but because truth finally hit too close to home. And oh wow, isn't that always how it goes? People don't turn on you when you're wrong, they turn when you're right. When your reflection shows them what they've been avoiding. You didn't destroy the community, you exposed it. You peeled back the masks layer by layer until their smiles cracked and their loyalty leaked out. Now they're circling each other, suspicious, trembling, pretending. All of them looking for someone to blame, someone to bleed for their guilt. And guess who they picked? You. You were never the problem. You were the mirror. The one who refused to bow, who didn't blend in, who didn't nod to their weak little games of pretend. You walked through their chaos like a blade through fog, and they hated that, because you didn't play their kind of quiet. You didn't kneel to their comfort. You didn't fake peace when the air was full of venom. You stood still while they panicked, and that stillness, that silence, screamed louder than their noise ever could. Nah, they couldn't handle that. You know what happens when a calm mind enters a chaotic room? The unstable ones start to shake. They can't breathe in the presence of self-control. They can't exist in front of truth. So they did what they always do. They twisted it. They called you cold, distant, dangerous. They called your strength arrogance, your clarity, pride. They called your refusal to kneel a threat. And oh yeah, it was the threat to everything false in them. Every whisper you spoke, they turned into a roar. Every silence, they filled with poison. They started stories. Stories that sound like truth but are made of dust. Stories that spread like smoke, choking every space that once felt familiar. Now no one trusts anyone. No one looks another in the eye. Every word is loaded. Every laugh is forced. Every smile feels borrowed. They're not a community anymore. They're a crowd of mirrors reflecting suspicion. Each one waiting for the other to make a move. And the tension, you can taste it. You can feel it crawling under your skin, pulsing in your throat, whispering it's about to happen. You see, betrayal isn't born out of hate. It's born out of fear. Fear that someone sees what they've been hiding. Fear that someone will drag the truth into daylight. And you became that someone. You didn't even mean to, did you? You just lived honestly. And that, apparently, was unforgivable. They forgot that truth doesn't need to shout. It just needs to stand still long enough. Eventually, every mask starts melting. Every fake loyalty starts twitching. Every liar starts trembling. You didn't destroy the peace. You revealed the decay. You made them see the rot beneath the paint. Oh, they'll never forgive you for that. Because once the truth walks in, comfort dies. And now they whisper. They plan. They gather in corners. They don't even trust their own shadows anymore. You can almost hear their hearts beating in panic, trying to find a way out of the web they spun themselves into. The irony? You're not even chasing them. They're running from their own reflection. Still, something's coming. You feel it, don't you? The pressure, the weight, the breaking point. Every act of silence, every false smile, every swallowed truth, it's all building toward that one sharp, inevitable moment. Someone will break the calm. Someone will take the first step. Someone will get jumped, not in the streets, but in the mind. The truth will ambush them where they stand. Because when everyone turns on each other, the one who stands alone becomes the only one still standing. Strike back? No. Evolve forward. That's the secret they never expected you to understand. When they push, you don't push back. You rise. You don't throw fists. You throw clarity. You don't scream. You sharpen. Oh, wow. Isn't it beautiful? Watching chaos collapse beneath composure. Watching their confusion feed your calm. They want a reaction, but you give them transformation instead. See, the loudest revenge isn't rage, it's growth. It's when you stop explaining yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you. It's when you stop chasing their approval and start mastering your silence. That silence cuts deeper than any scream ever could. It burns them quietly because they can't fight what won't fall. Yeah, you've seen it. The moment they realize their whispers don't reach you anymore. The moment your name becomes armor instead of target. They hate that. They crave control, and nothing threatens control like a person who doesn't respond. You can almost feel their panic, that tightening in their voice, that forced laugh, that desperate attempt to pretend they're fine. But you see through it. You always did. You're not here to prove who's right. You're here to prove who's real. And real doesn't need to shout. Real doesn't need the crowd. Real doesn't beg for understanding. Real stands quietly, while noise destroys itself. Nah, they don't get it. They think silence means weakness. They mistake stillness for surrender. But stillness is strategy. Stillness is power disguised as patience. Stillness is the art of letting the storm exhaust itself while you remain untouched. That's how the true ones move. Slow, precise, unstoppable. You learn that you can't heal in the same space that broke you. You can't breathe where every word feels like poison. So you step back. Not out of fear, but out of focus. You stopped fighting for a seat at their collapsing table. You started building your own. And the more they tried to break you, the more you rebuilt yourself from sharper pieces. Every wound turned into a window, every scar a lesson. Oh, they'll talk. They'll twist. They'll mock your calm, your distance, your focus. Let them. Because while they waste time circling lies, you'll be refining truth. While they chase attention, you'll be cultivating discipline. And when the noise finally fades, you'll still be standing sharper, quieter, stronger. It's strange, isn't it? You didn't need to attack. You just needed to rise above. And somehow, that rise, that quiet climb became the loudest thing in the room. You didn't strike back to hurt them. You struck back by becoming untouchable. You turned their betrayal into blueprint, their chaos into clarity, their hate into heat, fuel for your next move. And now the whole game shifts. The balance changes. The same ones who tried to bury you are realizing you don't live in their soil anymore. You've moved higher, beyond reach, beyond rumor, beyond fear. But every rise attracts new eyes. And not all eyes admire. Some envy, some scheme, some watch, waiting for your next step, whispering your name like it's a secret they can't decode. Fear doesn't always scream. Sometimes it just stares. You see it now, clear as daylight. The ones who once laughed the loudest, who once tried to corner you with words, can't even look you in the eye anymore. Their silence isn't peace. It's panic wrapped in politeness. Their smiles tremble, their greetings glitch, their confidence flickers like a dying bulb. Oh wow, isn't it poetic? The noise that tried to drown you now chokes them instead. They can't explain it, how the one they called the outcast became the calm they can't confront. You stand there steady, and they feel their own instability reflected back. Every time you walk in, it's like truth entered the room wearing human skin. Yeah, they fear that. Not because you're violent, but because you're unshakable. Because you don't play their games anymore. They whisper that you've changed. And maybe you have, but not in the way they think. You didn't become colder. You became clearer. You learned that peace isn't found in pleasing others. It's built in refusing to betray yourself. You stopped apologizing for your strength. You stopped shrinking to fit their comfort. And now that unbending quiet of yours, it terrifies them. Nah, they won't admit it. They'll call it arrogance, the same way they called your focus obsession. They'll label what they can't understand because labeling feels safer than facing truth. They can't say, "We were wrong." They can't confess that their judgment was fear wearing confidence. So they twist the story again. But deep down, they know. Every word they used against you is starting to sound like confession. You didn't have to prove anything. You just had to remain consistent. And consistency, oh, it's the slowest kind of power. It doesn't explode, it erodes. It breaks falsehood down inch by inch until all that's left is the real. And when the real stands before them, they can't look too long. It burns. It reminds them what they abandoned. Their silence is their surrender. But don't celebrate too quickly. Silence isn't always safety. It's pressure. It's gathering force. You can sense it in the air, that uneasy stillness before the next storm. They're thinking, plotting, calculating how to regain control. Because fear, when cornered, doesn't fade, it mutates. Oh, they'll try again. Not with noise this time. With strategy. The fake apologies, the sudden kindness, the subtle traps dressed as friendship. You'll see it coming before it starts. You've learned too much now. You've learned that forgiveness doesn't mean re-entry, and distance doesn't mean weakness. You can let them speak, but never let them close. And through it all, you stay silent. You watch. You wait. Not because you're afraid, because you've evolved past the need to explain. You've become the storm they once wished to summon. But here's the irony. They called for thunder, and now they're praying for quiet. Oh, they'll keep watching you. Every move, every breath, trying to decode the calm they once tried to destroy. But you already know their fear isn't about losing control of you. It's about realizing they never had it. Desperation is the last mask before truth shows its face. And here it comes. The shift, the trembling undercurrent that turns silence into eruption. You feel it long before it happens. That uneasy hum in the atmosphere, that tension crawling between the walls. They've tried the whispers, they've tried the pity, they've tried pretending they've changed. But fear doesn't fade through pretending. It ferments, it grows teeth. And when it finally snaps, oh wow, it's never quiet. You see it in their eyes first, that flicker of unease turning into resentment. The fake smiles no longer hold. The tone shifts. The air thickens. They start testing boundaries again, poking the calm you built like it's fragile. They want you to flinch, to fall back into the chaos they understand, because your stillness makes them feel powerless. And power, they crave it more than peace. Yeah, they'll try anything now. Twist your words. Doubt your motives. Paint your restraint as guilt. Because when people can't control your truth, they'll try to corrupt your image. They'll gather quietly, the same way they did before, convincing themselves that they're right this time, that you're still the problem, that you're too proud, too distant, too changed. But the truth hasn't changed. Only their comfort has. You can almost taste the panic in their laughter. Nah, it's not joy, it's camouflage. Every joke hides a bruise, every word hides a wound. They can't stand that you didn't break like they expected. You stood there steady, while they collapsed under their own noise. That silence of yours, it didn't just survive, it took control. And now comes the test, the moment of reaction. They'll provoke you, subtly at first, then sharper. They'll press the old buttons, hoping one still works. But you've rewired yourself. You've learned that control isn't about holding back emotion. It's about mastering the moment. You can feel your pulse steady as theirs rises. Oh, how strange it is to watch the ones who once towered over you shrink into their own shadows. You won't need to shout. You won't even need to move. You'll just look, calm, measured, unshaken, and that will be enough. Because nothing scares a liar more than someone who doesn't defend themselves. Your peace is a mirror, and their guilt can't stand reflection. They'll break. It's inevitable. The lies are heavy now. The masks are cracking. The performances are falling apart. And when it happens, when the act collapses, they'll look at you again, desperate, confused, hoping you'll save them from the very fire they lit. But you've learned. Compassion doesn't mean returning to the storm. You can wish them clarity, but you don't have to step back into their chaos. You've seen what happens when truth meets denial. It's not war, it's awakening, and awakenings are never gentle. Oh, you'll stand in the middle of their noise and feel nothing but calm. Because this time, the storm isn't around you. It's inside them. And they'll realize too late that you weren't the threat. You were the consequence. Oh, wow. You felt that, didn't you? That chill running down your spine? That silence after truth hits too hard to clap for? Yeah, that's not just a speech. That's impact. The kind that doesn't fade when the screen goes dark. The kind that stays in your head, replaying again and again. You just witnessed what happens when masks melt, when every fake smile gets exposed under pressure. Someone got jumped, not with fists, but with facts. And you survived the storm. You watched every illusion crumble while the real ones stood tall. Nah, this wasn't chaos, this was clarity. So here's the thing. You made it to the end, and that means something. It means you don't run from truth. You stare it down. You handle discomfort like a weapon, and that's rare. You're part of the few who don't just watch. You understand. Oh, yeah, you're built differently. You didn't skip. You didn't flinch. You stayed. That's strength right there. So hit that comment section. Tell me what line hit hardest. What moment flipped your perspective? Let's hear it from the minds that get it. Because this community, the real one, it starts with you. You're not just a viewer. You're the proof that truth still shakes the world when spoken raw, when spoken real. You're the reason this message lives past the words, because every view, every share, every comment keeps it alive. So yeah, walk out of this video differently, sharper, louder, quieter inside, but stronger where it counts. And next time someone says everyone turned on each other 'cause of you, just smile and whisper, "Oh nah, they didn't turn because of me. They turned because of the truth." See you in the next one, if you can handle it.